I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my website, Global Math Institute. We'll understand how to sketch angles in radians in this particular video. One of the interesting things here is that the very first question, which is written here, do you have any protractor with radians? Well, always you see protractor. What I mean to say, something which is in the shape of a D, something like this, right? So this is called a protractor, which is something in the shape of a D. This D is always given in degrees, right? You will never find a D in radians. Now the question is, if we have protractor given in degrees, how do we sketch angles in radians? That is what we'll discuss in this particular video. I'll take a few examples, and once we have gone through these examples, we'll take a practice test question. So let's review what is there on a D. So we have angles from 0 degrees to 180 degrees, right? So this is actually divided into equal parts. So right in between is 90 degrees. Half of that will give you 45 degrees. And on this side, 45 more than 90 will give you 135 degrees, right? So there could be the other angles in between, 30, 60, 90, and so on, right? So connecting with the center point, you could always have two arms of an angle. One arm, which is along this axis, is called an initial arm, right? So this is called the initial arm. And the other, which actually rotates. So if you have another arm kind of like this, so that is called the terminal arm, right? And what we have here is the vertex. With that, you make your angle. Let's say the angle is theta. So that is how you actually draw angles for given degree measurements. Now, how do we do when we have radians in question? That is what we will see. Perfect. One thing to remember is that when we talk about radians, then 0 degrees corresponds to 0 radians itself, and 180 degrees corresponds to pi radians, right? So that is kind of a relation between degrees and radians, right? So you can think about a D which is calibrated from 0 to pi, and we can divide the angles in between as pi by 2, pi by 4, and so on, and get our measurements in radians, right? So I hope the concept is absolutely clear. So with this in mind, let's move forward and take some examples. So the very first example, which I'm saying example 1b, is to sketch angles which are pi by 6, 5 pi by 6, 11 pi by 6, and minus 4 pi by 6. Let us now see how to sketch all these angles which are given to us in radians. Now, you can see from here very clearly that our D should be now divided into 6 equal parts, correct? So in this case, we'll take a D which is from 0 to pi, and we'll divide this into 6 equal parts. So if we do that, we will get pi by 6, 5 pi by 6, 11 pi by 6, and minus 4 pi by 6. So the coordinate plane is right there for you. In the coordinate plane, I will sketch a circle. Now, this circle, let's take in a highlighter. So I've taken a thicker, divide that circle into 6 parts on each side. So that's our circle. So now what we are supposed to do here is we need to find what is 1/6 of each part. So this is your 0 to d, right? So let me just write down 0 to pi for the whole d. Since we need 1/6 of it, so what we will do here is that we will divide this pi in 6 equal parts. 6 equal parts means that the quarter will be divided into 3 parts. So let this be 1, 2, and third division. So 3 parts, 4, 5, and 6. You can also divide this semicircle in 3 more parts. So in all, in the full circle, you will get 6 parts, correct? So clearly, if I have 6 pi by 6, I get this as equal to pi. But if I have 12 pi by 6, so clearly, what you notice here is that a pi is 6 divisions of pi by 6. So 2 pi will be what? So 2 pi is 12 divisions of pi by 6. Is that clear to you, right? So that is how you can correlate the position of angles. Now one by one, let's draw these angles. So the first one here is pi by 6. Pi by 6 is 1/6 of this pi, right? So 1/6 is right there. So we could actually draw the terminal arm going through the first division, and the angle right there will give us pi by 6. Is that clear to you? Right? Well, let's look into it once again with a different angle this time, which is 5 pi by 6. Now 5 pi by 6 means there are 5 of 1/6, right? Pi by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that should give you 5 pi by 6. So we'll connect this point with the center to give you the angle 5 pi by 6. So that angle is 5 pi by 6 in radians. So I hope it is clear and easy to understand, right? Now let's do the next one, which is for us 11 pi by 6. 11 pi by 6 means here it is 6, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that is your 11 pi by 6. So connecting with the center, which is the vertex of the angle, what we get here is in radians 11 pi by 6, right? So that is the angle 11 pi by 6. Now the question is, how do we draw the angles which are given to us with negative sign? Negative 4 pi by 6. Let's try this out. Now negative really means that we have to do clockwise, right? So clockwise, let's move in this direction. So we can move 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I move 4 divisions clockwise, we get minus 4 pi by 6, right? So that is what we call as minus 4 pi by 6. Is that clear to you? So that is how we are going to sketch these angles. So now let's do this example where we need to sketch angles in radians. We're given angles in pi by 3, 5 pi by 3, 8 pi by 3, and minus 2 pi by 3. So in this particular case, we need to divide the pi in 3 equal parts, right? So here we're looking for this pi, the d, which you had been working with all the time. This d will now be treated as 0 to pi, and we are going to divide this into 3 equal parts to get the angle equivalent for all the given 4 cases. So let's begin with making the coordinate plane first. So here is the coordinate plane. Let me color it blue. And in this coordinate plane, we are going to draw a circle which will be utilized to divide into equal parts. So the circle will be, here's your circle, right? So let me center this up. We'll divide this into 3 equal parts. Let this be part 1, 2, and 3. Let's continue with this. So the later part is also divided into 3 more, giving us 6 divisions of pi by 3 each. Now clearly 6 divisions of pi by 3 each means 2 pi. Correct? So we get one full circle of 2 pi. So it is from 0 to pi, and if you continue this, you get 2 pi. Perfect. Now the question is, how do we draw pi by 3? So let's take this up. Pi by 3 means 1/3 of the pi, and that's the 1/3 of the pi, right? Connecting with the origin being the vertex, what we get here is pi by 3. Clear? So this is pi by 3 with the initial arm. You get the angle pi by 3. Right. Now let's see how to do the next one, which is 5 pi by 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 5. So that should give you 5 pi by 3. So we'll connect with the center, and the angle right there is 5 pi by 3. Let's do the next one. So I hope you're finding it easy, right? 8 pi by 3. Now 8 pi by 3 means what? Full circle is 6, that means we get 2 more, right? So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So we'll actually land up in this particular portion after doing a rotation which is kind of like this and then this, right? Do you see that part? So then you get to 8 pi by 3. So it's more than one full rotation. Now here is another variation for you, and this time we are going to figure out how to draw the angle minus 2 pi by 3. Well, minus means clockwise, right? So this will be clockwise. That is negative angle. 2 pi by 3. So we'll go to 2, 1, 2 backwards. And there you go. So that becomes minus 2 pi by 3. So I hope with this the concept is absolutely clear how to draw angles with the given radian measurement, right? So let's move forward and take another example. This time we will do pi by 4s. So I hope you got the concepts. Now you can actually pause the video, draw these angles, and then check with my solution. So we'll go slightly faster this time. First step, drawing the coordinate plane, and then the second step is to draw the circle. Well, it is not necessary, but it is better because, initially we're trying to understand how accurately we could do all these things. So it is good to draw like this. Then the third step is to divide this circle into equal parts. How many? Which is decided by the denominator. Pi is divided into 4 parts, right? So we have 0 to pi, and this pi will be divided into 4 equal parts. So 4 parts means it could be 1, 2, 3, and 4, half of half, right? So that is how you could continue this pattern and divide the whole circle into 8 parts. So once you have 8 pi by 4, you know that is 2 pi, right? This is 2 pi for you. Now let's draw these angles one by one. So the very first one here is pi by 4 itself. So to connect the first 1/4 with the center, the terminal arm makes an angle with the x-axis, which will be pi by 4, right? So this I'm writing here as pi by 4. The next one here is 11 pi by 4. Means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that should be 11 pi by 4. Clear? So let's connect this time with the center, and that becomes 11 pi by 4. The next one is minus 3 pi by 4. Means we have to go clockwise, right? So this is clockwise. Previous were counterclockwise. So minus 3 means 1, 2, 3. So that means this should be minus 3 pi by 4. The last one here is minus 9 pi by 4. So how do we get minus 9 pi by 4? To get 9 pi by 4 negative, we'll do clockwise. One full circle is 8, means one more, right? So one more than 8, right? So it is kind of like this, where we are going to get to the, you could go one full circle like this and then one more unit, and that gives you minus 9 pi by 4. Is that clear to you, right? So I hope you have understood all the concepts. It's time to practice and then take a quiz on this. So here is your practice question. You need to sketch the following angles given in radians: 7 pi by 6, 8 pi by 3, 11 pi by 3, and minus 14 pi by 6. So I have mixed up pi by 6 with pi by 3 in this particular exercise. Take care of that, sketch the angles accurately, and then look into my suggestions. So let's begin with drawing the coordinate plane first. So here is our coordinate plane. Let me take it of blue color, and then we'll actually draw a circle, dividing the circle into equal parts. For pi by 3, we have to divide in 3 parts. For pi by 6, we have to divide it in 6 parts. So what I will do here is I will first draw pi by 6. So let me take pi by 6 first. So we will do pi by 6, 7 pi by 6. That is to say, I'm going to divide this pi into 6 equal parts. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Later half also in 6 equal parts. So that gives you 12 pi by 6, which is same as 2 pi. Is that clear to you? Now if I want to draw 7 pi by 6, 6 plus 1 is 7. So that is an angle which we are looking for, and this is 7 pi by 6. Is that clear to you? So I hope you got the same answer. Now let's look into 8 pi by 3. Now pi by 3s are these, right? So this is pi by 3, correct? So pi by 3 is that much, right? 2 pi by 6. 8 means we'll go full circle, it makes 6. 7 and 1, 8. So we get 8 pi by 3 right there. So what you should get here is something like this, where we have gone through the whole circle and then back to this point to get 8 pi by 3. Is that clear to you? Right? Now let's take the next one, which is 11 pi by 3. Means if I go one full circle, it is 6 pi by 3. Another means 12. So that means one less. So we should be landing here for 11 pi by 3. I hope that makes sense, right? So one full circle and then back to this place. So it is kind of like this. One full circle and then back to this place. So that is 11 pi by 3. The last one here is to sketch 14 pi by 6. Now since this is negative, we have to go in clockwise direction. So I'll change the color to this color, right? Negative. 14 means 12 will mean one full circle and two more of 1 of 6. So that is, we are going to end up here. That should be minus 14 pi by 6. So I hope you got the similar answers which we got here. So that means we have to go one full circle, right? And then two more. So that is what we have for 11 pi by 6. So have a close look at it. Try to understand how we got all these angles. Perfect. Now here is your test. So the test question for you is right there. So we have angles which are 3 pi by 8, minus 13 pi by 4, 17 pi by 10, and 12 pi by 7. You need to sketch them all. Now they are with different denominators, so you may like to sketch separately so that you get fairly accurate answers, right? So you can pause the video, answer this out, and then look into my suggestions. So the very first one which I have here is 3 pi by 8. So let me make a small sketch here for 3 pi by 8. Right, so what we have here is, we'll make a circle. We'll divide this circle into 8 equal parts. 8 parts means, well, this is 4 parts, right? So if I do half of these, I get 8 parts, correct? So that is 8. So 3 pi by 8 means 1 pi by 8, 2 pi by 8, and 3 pi by 8. So that is right there. So this angle here is 3 pi by 8. Is that clear to you? Perfect. Now let's take the next one, which is minus 13 pi by 4. So let me do it here. Minus 13 pi by 4. So we'll make a circle here. And since we're looking into pi by 4s, we are going to divide this into 4 equal parts, right? Which is right there. "13 means if I go one full circle, and that is clockwise, right? So one full circle means 8. And then each is 4, right? So each half is 4. So 4 and 4, 8, and 4, 12, and one more. So that means what you're expecting is kind of like this. So you'll go kind of like this to get to the result, which is minus (13 pi by 4). Is that clear to you? Perfect. Now we have another one which is kind of tricky. You have to do 17 pi by 10. How are you going to do it? So you can actually pause the video, do it first, and then look into my suggestions. So means we need to now divide our pi in 10 parts. So then only you'll get, right? So let's try to see how to divide it into 10 parts. 10 parts means 5 in each. We are looking for 17. So if I'm looking for 17, then we know this is 0, and this is 10 pi by 10, correct? Then this will be 20 pi by 10, that is 2 pi. We are going for 17, that means 3 less than 20, right? So each will be divided into 5 parts. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 3 less than 20. So 1, 2, 3 less than 20. So that gives you 17 pi by 10. Does make sense to you? Did you see the logic, how we have drawn? We divided each quarter in 5. D is being divided into 10, quarter into 5. We worked it backwards. So this becomes kind of simpler, right? So this is an alternate way of doing it. The last one here is the question which says 12 pi by 7. How will you do 12 pi by 7? Tricky, right? Let's try this out over here. Now, I hope you got the answer. We are going to divide this circle into semicircle D in 7 parts. Now 7 is not an even number like we did 3, remember? So 3 and a half. That is how you're going to get 7. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 1, 7. So that is how you're going to get 7 portions. Now it says 12 pi by 7 means 2 less, right? So again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 12, 7 and 5. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that is what is 12 pi by 7, correct? So this is how we are going to get 12 pi by 7. Is that clear to you? A bit tricky. However, I hope you understand the concept. I'd like you to go through this video once again to understand the whole concepts. If you have any questions, feel free to write your comments and suggestions. Thanks for your time and all the best.